This is the People of Bartlett podcast. I'm Dustin with Bartlett Local. Welcome to episode 11 with Pastor Terence Gray. We learn why Terence moved to Bartlett and who his favorite football team is. So kick back and relax and enjoy learning about the people who make up our great community. Good afternoon, Terence.
Good afternoon. Hey, everybody. Hey, Bartlett. Hope that you guys are doing well.
Terence, so tell us who you're with.
Yeah, I am a pastor here in Bartlett of a church plant. We've actually just begun the process of planting Covenant Family Church. And so I'm here with Covenant Family Church and my wife, Ashley Gray. We just moved here in February, as a matter of fact. And so we are 5 months pregnant. And so we're planting a church and planting a baby all at the same time, but we're really excited about it and glad to be in Bartlett.
Congratulations on the baby. Is this your first baby?
This is our first baby, so we are super excited about that. And so We're expecting a girl, and so Mommy is really pumped about having a girl, so she's ecstatic and ready to decorate the room all pink and everything, so we're pumped.
That's fun. Girls are the best.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Yeah, we're still going to try to get her to play basketball or something, so Daddy's still going to try to put a basketball in her hand and see if she can play ball or something like that. But
okay.
I'm excited. I'm excited to have a girl.
You're new to Bartlett, right?
Yes, I'm new.
Where'd you move from?
And so we were in downtown Memphis for the last 3 years. And so we got married in Dallas in 2015, and we lived there for a little while. I was on staff at a church in Dallas, but we moved back to Memphis in 2016, lived downtown. I was on staff with Downtown Church, and we got sent to plant Covenant Family Church in the Bartlett area.
So why Bartlett?
Yeah, Bartlett, it's it's one of the most unique and special parts of the city, in my opinion. The variety and diversity of what makes Memphis an amazing city, all of that exists in Bartlett. And so I love the fact that some of everybody was here, to be honest. And I appreciated that. I appreciated that it would be a potential place for us to be able to raise a family in the future. And we just saw that there was even a trend of young adults moving to this area. So I'm a young adult. I'm a millennial. I'm 32. And we even saw a little bit of a trend of our age group moving this way. And we thought, man, why don't we plant a church in a place with a nice sized demographic of people who reflect our age group and where we're at in life? I imagine that we're not the only ones thinking, hey, we need to probably move out of the downtown apartment life so that we can, have a family. And I imagine that a lot of people are doing that and thinking that, like they're moving out of downtown and midtown and trying to find a place to start a family. And so we thought that, more people were thinking like that, and this would be a good place to plant a church to engage other people who are thinking the same thing as us.
Yeah, very cool. Bartlett is, I just think of it as like a working class area.
Yeah.
There might be some $1 million homes here, but there's definitely not a lot of them or anything. Most people just work their jobs and they want a reasonable place to raise their family. And as millennials get older and they start having more children and school and where their kid's going to graduate from becomes a part of their daily conversation, they'll be turning to Bartlett, no doubt.
Absolutely. The school system is amazing. That caught our attention as well. We saw that Bartlett High had invested, I think, $65 million in a renovation, which, let us know that this was a community that was investing in its school, and which lets me know that there's a future here. And so we're excited about all of that.
We're very proud of our schools here, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, Terence, running a church, that sounds really busy. What is your day-to-day like?
Yeah, so church planting is very much a broad job description. And so And honestly, I've had to break it up into phases. And so in one season, which the first I'll say this: we had 3 phases, and so we had a support raising phase where I had to go out and raise funds. Then now we're in the middle of a team building phase where we're gathering people to be a part of the team to actually get the church off of the ground. And then our next phase will actually be launch, which will take place at the end of the summer. And so right now, as I'm in the middle of team building, that looks like meeting with individuals who would be interested in being a part of the church plant, preparing our meetings and doing the research necessary to make sure that we're going after the right things, but getting that team ready to launch the church. And so day to day, that's a lot of time spent with people, and a lot of that is virtually right now, but spending time with people and preparing them to launch this church together. So,
okay. How long have you been working on this again? Did you say since February?
And so, initially I got asked about planting a church in 2017. And so my denomination, which is the Evangelical Presbyterian Church, asked me about planting a church about 3 years ago. And so ever since then, I've kind of been in a preparation mode. And so it wasn't until February that we actually moved to Bartlett, though. So I had been connecting with people out this way, trying to learn more about the area to be sure if this was the spot to plant a church. But yeah, I've been on the ground here since about February.
Okay, a busy man, I guess. Are you too busy for hobbies or anything?
No, not too busy for hobbies. I spend a lot of time in the yard. So I've been trying to grow grass. When we first moved in, and I think we actually have accomplished it now. When we first moved in, there was a ton of weeds and the grass was all patchy, but I've been having fun out there turning the grass green, and on the grill as well. I'm loving some grill time. So I grilled ribs for the first time last week, and that was awesome. So cooking, working in the yard. I also like to write and do music. From time to time, I'll record something. And then, and sports. I love sports.
Yeah.
I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, so that can be rough. But
okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. So do you get out very much in Bartlett? Do you have any favorite restaurants or anything?
Yeah, the first place that we ate at was Sweet Peas, and we loved it. Just some good down-home cooking. So that's probably been my favorite place so far since we've been here.
Okay, very cool.
And Isabella's Pizza. Isabella's Pizza.
Oh, yeah, I want to make it over there. I haven't made it over to Isabella's yet, but I hear lots of great stuff about it.
Yeah, good stuff.
So, being new to Bartlett, you probably have a pretty good perspective on what it's like now that you're here. Is there something you would want other people to know about Bartlett that maybe people that live downtown or something may not know?
Yeah, I think that when you're in the city and you have so many options in the city, there can be this fear that if I move to a suburb such as Bartlett, that I'll lose elements of fun and elements of being able to just enjoy life. And I think that, we've really enjoyed being out here. I think that there is more of a fun factor to it and an enjoyment and quality of life to it than a lot of people might know. And so I'm always bragging about it, how it is. It's a good place to raise a family. We have a ton of kids in our neighborhood, and they seem like they're enjoying themselves and enjoying being out here. So, yeah, I mean, it's more fun than I think it gets credit for.
Yeah, I think when you say quality of life, I think that's really it. Because, Memphis still isn't far. I can be in Midtown in, 15 minutes, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
I can be downtown in 30 minutes or so. So it's all still very accessible.
Mm-hmm.
But what's not accessible downtown necessarily is the quality of life that you get in a place like Bartlett. So my home life is much more important than, dining out in my favorite restaurant a few nights a week.
Absolutely.
Right.
So, Yeah, so we've enjoyed all of that, and look forward to getting out and spending more time out here. But that's just a great point. Yeah, we're right up the expressway from a Grizzlies game or anything downtown.
Yep.
But yeah, we get a great experience out here as far as the quality of life. So I'm enjoying it.
Now, to shift gears a little bit and talk more about your church, planning a church is, that seems really intimidating. What kind of drove you to say yes to this project?
Yeah, I think you must have an entrepreneurial bent to plant a church. So it's highly entrepreneurial. It's essentially a startup for those who are in the business world. But it's not a business. It's planting a church and starting a new faith community to reach new people. And so, what makes a church plant different is that we primarily exist to reach people who are either not in the church or who maybe not even be in the Christian faith at all, as a matter of fact. And so, it's very intentional about reaching new people. I think one of the misconceptions of church planting is we just setting up another box to invite the people who are already in church to that box, and so that's why we don't exist to take people from other people's churches or that type of thing. That's not the proper way to go about church planting. It's trying to reach those people who are unchurched. And just based on the stats that I've read, there are a ton of people who still don't have a church home on Sunday. And so we wanted to plant in Bartlett to reach some of those people and to create an environment where those people feel safe and at home and where they can wrestle with questions. We're not this perfect environment where you have to be perfect, but hopefully it's a place where you can, wrestle with your questions and go through the process of knowing who God is and whatever that might look like for you in that season. But yeah, we're existing as a church plant to reach those who might not have a church home and might not be in a faith community at all right now.
So what made you say yes? What made you say, I'm going to do this?
I think it just fits the wiring that I have, the set of gifts and the passion that I have to reach people who might be far from God and far from the church. I have a high level of comfort of spending time with people outside of the church. Probably even more so sometimes than being in the traditional church. And so that passion and that desire to see those people find fulfillment and joy and satisfaction in a relationship with God is what gives me the passion to say yes to something that's quite often complicated and daunting. And so church planting has its challenges. There is a level of uncertainty with starting anything, and you definitely feel that when you're planting a church. But my passion is to see people enter into a relationship with the Lord that can bring meaning, fulfillment, and transformation to their lives. And so it's worth getting up every day and trying to figure it out. So,
and you're finding that in you're finding that in Bartlett. You're finding the community here.
Yeah. We've found it. Yeah, we've found some opportunities to connect with people and to serve and to connect with those individuals in Bartlett who would eventually be a part of the church. So we've already started in some of that. Yep.
Now, while on this journey, of course, you need to, you got to have your wife involved, and you probably have to make sacrifices in your professional life.
Absolutely.
Is your wife on board with the sacrifices that you have to make? And, when you provide emotional support to a community, that means phone calls in the middle of the night and stuff like that. Could you talk a moment about the sacrifices that you've had to make to get to where you are now?
Yeah. When you're pastoring in general, let alone church planting, your spouse has to be in it with you. I've heard it said that God wouldn't call you to a place that he wouldn't also call your wife. And so my wife, I'm thankful for this. She's been committed to this church plant as well. She's studying in seminary and taking Bible classes herself right now, and so she has a passion for ministry of her own. And so, really, I'm not having to drag her along or tag her along. Many days she's just pushing just as hard as I am to see the vision of Covenant Family Church to come to life. So she's right here with me in it all. As far as the sacrifice, there is an element of when you sign up for service, you sign up to be used, essentially. You sign up for the good days and the challenging days. You sign up for the 3 a.m. phone calls, and that's just a part of it. But with that, I've had to set healthy boundaries to make sure that I'm protecting my wife and protecting my own spiritual health, because if I have an empty cup, I won't have anything to pour out. And so there is an element of making sure that I'm healthy, making sure that my family is healthy, so that I can be able to be effective and healthy for the church, and so that the church can be healthy, essentially, and we can influence the community to be even more healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
So you kind of become this master of both worlds, where you know where your limits are, and you know that those can't be crossed.
Absolutely. Yeah, you absolutely have to set those boundaries. And we have a daughter on the way, and she has to know that she is my priority. And so that doesn't mean that I won't set time for the church, because I'll serve and give the church the ministry that I'm called to give, and I'm a servant of the Lord to that church. But your family has to know that you're there for them and their priority. And even though we're starting this church, and even though I'm the founding pastor of Covenant Family Church can replace me and find another pastor, but my daughter won't have another father, and my wife won't have another husband. So I always have to keep that in mind.
I really like the way you put that, and that's so true.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad you found a home here in Bartlett, and I know the community response has been really good so far.
Thank you. It's a easy place, I think, to get to know people, and I think that's something that not even just churches, but anybody who's listening to this should take advantage of. Man, I think it's a neighborhood full of people who are kind of in the same place in life, and I think more people should take advantage of that. It hadn't been very difficult to get to know people here, and I know that sometimes the suburbs get a reputation of not being a place to build relationships easily, and the whole cliche of people driving in the house and dropping their garage door behind them. But I actually have seen people out and about quite a bit, and so I don't know if that's an anomaly, but I certainly have seen it and appreciate that.
Yeah. Now, if you've listened to our show before, you may know that we do some quick fire questions.
Okay.
Are you familiar with those?
Yeah.
All right. So, quick fire question number 1. What is the perfect, most ideal age to be?
I would say 30. I'm going with 30. You're still healthy. Not that you can't be healthy and older, but you got some good health, and you're older and wiser and have made a few mistakes. So I'm going to go with 30.
All right. Do you question things even if it will bother someone, or do you try to not rock the boat?
I ask questions. I try to ask it in a way that's, I'm probably not trying to rock the boat with how I ask it, but I will ask it.
Okay. What do you grab for first thing in the morning?
Unfortunately, my phone.
I use mine as the alarm, so I reach over and turn the alarm off.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Halloween costume?
Favorite Halloween costume? I can just go back to the ones that I've had. I was a clown. That was fun.
Okay. What's a movie that you enjoy?
My favorite movie is Forrest Gump.
Okay, that's pretty good. When are you the most productive?
First thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning.
I'm my best and most creative in the morning.
Okay. What's one thing you've always wanted to do?
I've always wanted to go to a professional MMA fight. And so, well, that's not always, but that's my bucket list right now. I want to go to a professional MMA fight.
Okay.
I'm a pastor. I know you probably shouldn't want to watch people beat each other up, but I like MMA.
Who would play you in the movie of your life?
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown. All right. What's your favorite animal?
Lion.
What do you hope people notice about you?
That I am fun.
Fun. And if you could have any three living people over for dinner, who would they be?
I would have over Barack Obama, Stephen Curry, and this third one shouldn't be taking so long. It's the fire one. Man, this third person. I'll just say Beyonce.
Okay. Beyonce, that's a good one. We've heard some crazy ones with that question. Because you start thinking, you're like, okay, dead or alive? No. These are alive people.
Yeah.
And then there's three of them. So we heard Lady Gaga once. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So for the people listening, the quickfire questions are just a way to kind of get some idea of who Terence is in just a couple minutes. And they're a lot of fun. They've been really successful on the podcast.
Yeah.
Terence, do you have any questions for the show?
As far as, let me see. What do you guys... Yeah, what's your dream for Bartlett Local? What's your dream for this show?
For the show, I just want to talk about the people that live here, and I hope people enjoy the stories.
Awesome.
That's it. I just want it to, who's your neighbor sort of thing. Who lives down the street, and hopefully not in a creepy way, just kind of a, an elevator pitch almost.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, Terence, where can people find out more about you?
Yeah, so to learn more about me and the church plant here, you can go to welcometothefam.net. That's fam spelled F-A-M. So welcometothefam.net. And then you can see us on Facebook as well at Welcome to the Fam 901 on Facebook. And then Welcome to the Fam 901 on Instagram. So I wanted it to be really simple to find us. Just Welcome to the Fam 901.
All right. And for everyone listening at home, that will be in our show notes. You can find our show notes on Facebook. Just search for Bartlett Local, or you can go to bartlettlocal.com. And Terence, thanks for coming out. Thanks for telling us your story about everything that you're doing, and welcome to Bartlett, and good luck with your family.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Bartlett.
We really appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
Awesome.